Hey everyone, welcome back to another New World video. I hope that everybody is having an absolutely fantastic day. And in today's video, I kind of want to go over a couple things here on the market. It doesn't matter if you're buying or selling, but these are things that you guys definitely should be looking at if you either want to save money if you're buying things, or if you want to make more money if you guys are selling things. Now, doing anything with a trading post is a huge part of New World, and making money or saving money or spending money is also equally as important as anything else here in New World. So if you guys don't like to make money or you don't like to be able to save time, then this video is definitely not going to be for you, but it is a huge aspect of it. Now, the one thing that I do kind of quickly want to cover is the things that we're going to be covering is anything that you can make that requires multiple items. So if you're going to be wanting to sell like rawhide or anything like that, it's only going to be one specific component, then by all means you can focus on that. But there's a couple of things that I'm just really not going to get involved in today's video, and that's going to be this crafting overall. So that's going to be like armor and weapons and things like that. Jewelry is another big one where the market is willing to pay a lot of money for it, but the things that you are actually able to create is heavily going to be depending on if they're going to be purchased, whether that specific person or character is going to be needing all of those perks and whatever you're offering on the market. So there are a lot of variables when it comes to those specific things that we can't really cover in today's video. You can make a lot of money if you sell the right thing to the right person at the right time. So you guys want to get involved with it, you definitely can go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and kind of head on over to the trading post and take a look at what we're kind of talking about here today. And one of the best things that I can like talk about is eggs, right? Eggs are a great way of making money here in New World. They vary all the time, typically anywhere from on a typical day from 8 to 10 coins, which is pretty good. Right now on a Sunday morning, they are at 13 basically, which is really nice. Now I was able to sell a couple of them last night for a decent profit. Let's see if we can find those here real quick. And I think I sold them for like 13 something. That's an old one. 1385. I sold 34 of them. Yeah, see, here's like an average market. Here's when the market just like went absolutely crazy. And then I have some where I was able to sell some eggs for like 30 plus. And I don't think that they're in here anymore, but that was an absolutely crazy day. I sold hundreds of eggs for like 30 plus because there was nobody selling eggs for that day. So eggs are a huge thing to pay attention to, and that kind of what's brought me into like today's video. So if we're looking at like say pasta as an example, in order to make pasta you need flour and eggs. But why would you buy an egg and then buy flour if that's something that you're going to do? You can go and gather these materials yourself, but even if you're going to like sell pasta, why would you do that when you can make more money selling the egg individually, at least as of right now? Because I just showed you that you're making almost 13 coins, but you're only making 12 coins on pasta. You're actually losing $1 and actually adding more ingredients to it. So why would you do that? Now there are a lot of other recipes that you can use eggs, but we're not really going to get into that. If you want to find all the ones that do use eggs, you can definitely do how to do that. But another example that I can give to you guys is pastry crust. Pastry crust is selling for $13.30, and it takes flour, salt, and water. Obviously water should be free. It should be in abundance in every city. Now every city has a little bit harder access than some cities in order to actually get the water. Flour is relatively simple. Now it's selling for 72 cents, but it's easy to actually make. And then the other thing that we have to look at is the salt. And what's interesting about this is the last time that I looked at this is over $14. So it cost, again, more money to actually make the entire pastry crust than it does for just one ingredient. So why would you spend, I guess in this case, buying it 15 in order to only make 13? You're losing $2 plus all the transaction fees. everything else that goes along with listing anything on the trading post. Or even if you're going to craft it yourself, why would you craft it yourself when you can actually purchase it for it being cheaper? Those are things to actually take into huge consideration when you're looking at buying or selling anything here in the trading post. Like, these are some of the tips and tricks that I can definitely give to you guys when you're looking at it. Another example is going to be like the poultry, the salted poultry with cabbage. This is in order to get your logging luck up to 2,000. Obviously, nobody's really using logging, but it's kind of a good example. All of these ingredients, and this sells for roughly $1. This is not even close to that, maybe $1 at most. That's like $2. This is like 10 cents, 10 cents, maybe 50 cents, probably 50 cents. And then seasonings you can get super cheap, because it doesn't really matter what seasonings you put together in order to make your seasoning blend. So like 15 cents. So maybe about $3 total to make it yourself. So why would you purchase something for $6 when you can make it yourself for $3? Now, those are just some of the examples, and I could look at hundreds of different ones that actually use all of this in order to actually go ahead and like just prove my point even further. But I gave you guys multiple examples where it is better to just buy the ingredient, or buy the things like pasta and the pastry crust as in general, or you can actually just buy the ingredients and craft it for half the cost. So just definitely pay attention when you're doing anything with the market, especially when it comes to multiple materials, when you're actually doing that. Now, there's a couple ones that are really close. In this case, let's just look at the star metal ingot. So right, it requires all these things in order to make the ingot. So it requires 2 steel ingots, like 6 ore, some flux, and then some charcoal. Charcoal, pretty easy to get. You just need to chop some trees down. Any village that you guys go to or settlement that you go to, you're going to be able to get charcoal relatively easy. Just go outside, spend 5 minutes chopping down some trees outside of the village, not outside. And if you have a laptop, great, play outside. Then we got some flux. The best one is going to be obsidian flux, because that's going to give you guys the best amount. But when it comes to flux, that if you don't have it, you're going to be spending a little bit of money on that obsidian flux in order to get that. So just pay attention to that as well. And then we had the steel ingots, which are selling for, I think, right around $1 right now a piece. So that's like $2 into it, basically $2.50 into it. And then we're also going to use the star metal ore. So we have $2.50 into it plus another, so it's $3.50. Then we need 6 of these, so that's roughly $2.50 with all the taxes and the transaction fees and everything. So it's about the same cost to actually do it. Now in this case, instead of buying the star metal ingots, I would actually craft it yourself, because especially when you're using that obsidian flux, you're going to get a whole bunch more bonuses. So anything that's a bonus, so if this case you craft up 50 of them and then you get another 35 for a bonus, that's 35 free ingots that you can sell at over $5 a piece, and that's all free money. Whereas if you were to just buy them and then use the 50, then you can do that, that's fine, but you have a chance of being able to return some stuff to the market, or just craft it yourself in order to actually save yourself a little bit of money. So those are some of the things that you guys can hugely just pay attention to when you're like looking at the market and looking at what you really want to be able to dive into. Now, again, I have to make this saying in every single video, because somebody's always going to say it. Every server is going to be different. The examples that I gave to you are specific to my server, but those are things that I deal kind of with on a daily basis. They're roughly the same on every server, roughly, I said. And these are just examples, because it's anything that takes multiple ingredients to craft it, and you just have to kind of sit back and say, is it cheaper for me to buy a thing that's already crafted for me, or is it cheaper to make it on my own? Yes, when you make anything on your own, you have a possibility of always being able to get more than what you already crafted, so you always have to take that into consideration. But if you're overall just looking at using only 1 per 1, So like you need a pastry crust to make whatever you're going to be making with that pastry crust. Do you only need one, or do you need 10? Do you need 20? Do you care about a bonus? Do you not care about a bonus? Those are all factors that come into play when you're really dealing with this. Now, I like to make a lot of money here in New World. I don't put a lot of time and energy and effort into it, but I know it sells really well. So if you guys want to be able to make more money here in New World, I highly recommend that you guys go ahead and check out some of my other videos here on the channel, so you guys can identify a lot of really easy factors and things that you guys can get involved with if you would like to make money fairly quickly. And I even showcased a couple of them here in today's video. But hopefully this video does help you guys out, and if it does, make sure that you guys go and like, comment, and subscribe down below. It would help me out a lot and is greatly appreciated. But until next time, YouTube, you guys keep doing what you're doing, because you're already doing it, and you guys stay gaming.